Hello, this is the Tradeside Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday the 29th of September 2019, ending Friday the 4th of October. So we enter the last quarter of the year. Usually the last couple of days are boring, but that's not going to cover the whole week, so we'll see what happens. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. Back near the highs, it was an interesting week. We had some good winners, even though really the range was not that great. Let's look at the daily charts of the major pairs, and then we'll look at the intra-week action, go from there. So the euro dollar at new lows, that's the inverse of the dollar index as usual. The pound dollar had a declining week. We had a couple day winner here that was decent. Aussie dollar declined as well. The euro yen didn't do much, actually. It's pretty boring. The pound yen also didn't do much. Last couple days were pretty flat. The pound Swiss has been flat. The New Zealand dollar pair near the lows, but didn't do anything for the week. Let's look at the intraday action. 30-minute candles. High to low for the week on the euro dollar is only 120 pips. And if you look at it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was only 60 pips for the whole thing. It's horrible. Then we moved down. It's not worth looking at. Meanwhile, the pound dollar high to low for the week is a little better, about 250 pips, 260 pips. So while Monday was boring, Tuesday we got a trade on. Wednesday we kept going, and we had some other winners. So it's actually a good week in the pound dollar. I'd take 250 pips. It's better than we've seen. It's still not amazing, but you can't complain about that. So we will go from there and hope that we get another week like that. We had a big winner that went from Wednesday to Friday, and we will call it a day. All right, in terms of economic data for the week ahead, so here's how it goes. New Zealand dollar pair on our New Zealand economic calendar. Remember, these are Pacific times now here in the U.S., so add 3 hours for Eastern time. So 5:45 p.m. Eastern time, New Zealand business consents. Japan retail sales at 750. MI inflation gauge out of Australia. Manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMI out of China. Private sector credit out of Australia. China Caxton manufacturing PMI. Japan housing starts. European German retail sales. Swiss, nothing that matters. The European Spanish flash CPI, German preliminary CPI, German unemployment change, Italian monthly unemployment, UK current account, final GDP, mortgage approvals, net lending, and revised business inventories. Italian preliminary CPI, unemployment rate out of Europe at 2 a.m., so 5 a.m. Eastern time on Monday. We've got the RMPI out of Canada, the IPPI, Chicago PMI out of the U.S., business confidence out of New Zealand, AIG manufacturing index out of Australia at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time going into Tuesday. Unemployment rate out of Japan, along with their Tenkan manufacturing and non-manufacturing income. China's closed on Tuesday for a bank holiday. Japan final manufacturing PMI, Australia building permits, 10-year bond auction out of Japan, cash rates. I've got a rate announcement out of Australia at midnight plus 30 minutes on going into Tuesday. Nationwide HPI out of the UK, commodity prices, retail sales out of Switzerland. Europe, Spanish manufacturing PMI, FOMC, remember speaking, no big deal. Manufacturing PMI out of Switzerland, Italy, France, Germany, broad European sector, the UK. CPI flash estimate out of Europe, core CPI flash estimate out of Europe. Australia's got a governor speaking. Canada, GDP number 5:30, so 8:30 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. A couple of Fed members speaking. Final manufacturing PMI and ISM manufacturing PMI out of the U.S. Construction spending and ISM manufacturing prices. That's at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. Ward's total vehicle sales, GDT price index, monetary base out of Japan, China's bank holiday, consumer confidence out of Japan, CPI out of Switzerland, Spanish unemployment change, UK's construction PMI at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. ADP non-farm employment change here in the U.S. Crude oil inventories, that's the weekly number. Australia's got their AIG services index, and China remains on bank holiday. Australia's trade balance, German bank holiday, FOMC member Evans speaks, another Fed speech. We got the services PMI numbers out of Spain, Italy, France, Germany, the European sector, and the UK, and then Europe's PPI retail sales at 5 a.m. Eastern time going into Thursday. Challenger job cuts here in the U.S., unemployment claims, that's the weekly initial and continuing numbers, final services PMI. We've got ISM non-manufacturing PMI, factory orders an hour, 30 minutes into the market on Thursday here in the U.S. Natty gas an hour into the market. China's still on bank holiday going into Friday. Australia's got their retail sales and HIA new home sales. France government budget balance. We've got housing equity withdrawal out of the UK. Got Canada's trade balance. U.S. unemployment rate with the non-farm payroll number, which is one of our big three each month, along with trade balance, another one of our two big three each month. So that's going to be a half-size night going into Friday. Canada's IVPMI, and that's it. Australia goes through their daylight savings time. We're still a couple weeks away from that in Europe and the U.S. So the back end of the week has the big numbers. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week in Forex.